Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Wave Accounting tutorial, and today I want to show you how you can go about recording transactions, be it inflow or outflow for your business using the Wave apps. So the first thing you need to do is to tap on your menu, open up your menu, and then you go to the third option, accounting. Alright, expand the menu and go to transactions. Okay, and then you will load up and go into the transaction page. Okay, so previously I have showed you how to go about doing your invoices and bills, and the good thing is that the moment you set the invoice as paid, then they will automatically create a transaction. You can see here, they will create a transaction over here as well. Or if you record a receipt or mark a bill as paid, it will also automatically appear under the transactions as well. Okay, so let me just go back to purchases. I think in my previous example I showed you, how to go about creating bills, and then let's just record a payment. Okay, just for the purpose of today's example, let's just say you did a bank payment. Okay, so from here you choose from which way you paid. So most of the time it's either cash or bank payment. Bank payment meaning you did a bank transfer. How much do you pay? Do you pay in full or you paid partial? Let's just assume you pay in full today's date. And the bank account, because you paid from bank, so it should be from your bank account that you have created. So let's just save it. Okay, so this is paid, and when you go to your counting transactions, okay, you realize that, see, there's a bill payment that's made. Okay, so only under two circumstances, or rather should I say three circumstances, you will have transactions that are automatically transferred to the transaction tab. That is, either you have received a payment for your invoice, you have made a payment for your bills, or you have made a payment for your expenses, a receipt that you have used the receipt option, which is here, purchases, and then you realize that receipts here. Okay, I think I have another earlier tutorial I showed you that, see, so this is, once this is, you have uploaded a receipt and you have recorded it as done and paid for, it will appear in your accounting. Okay, then the next question is, since these are automated, then why do I still need to come in here? Alright, there are various reasons. Number one of the reasons is there are transactions that it is not a sale, neither is it a bill payment. For example, maybe you have obtained a loan from a micro loan from a bank to help you with your business credit. So it doesn't fall under invoice, nor does it fall under a bill. That's where you have to do a manual transaction and enter here. Or perhaps you need to account for the start of your business where your shareholders inject in share capital. It is neither a sale, neither is it a bill receipt as well. So that's where you have to do a manual recording over here. So these are just some of the examples that I can share with you. So it is also very easy. The way they have structured it is either add income or add expense. The name may not always justify the transaction, because income we will think of it as sale, but think of it this way: add income you can think of cash in. Okay, so transactions that involve getting cash into your bank account or business account, you will do a add income. Add expense means money out. So say for example, if you got a 20,000 loan for your bank, you will do a add income. Correct? You will add income because you need to add cash, and then you will have to add to your liability as well. Or alternatively, once you reach a point where you want to pay back the loan, then money flows out from your bank account. Then you will go to add expense. That means money gets from your bank account to someone else. You encounter a deficit, and then on the other on the other part of the transaction is the fact that you erase off your liabilities. Okay, there's more. There's a add journal transaction. Okay, I'll touch on this later. And then there's also an upload bank statement. This is for bank reconciliation purposes. This will probably warrant another video on its own, so I will not touch on this. Okay, so this is number one, the reason. Of course, the second reason is sometimes when it comes to such accounts, you could have a staff who is in charge of doing all this recording, but there should always be someone who counter checks all these transactions to see whether it's correct or not. So that is why you will see that on all these transactions inside the accounts tab, you will see that there is a small tick beside, and when you mouse over, it will say mark as review. So this is sometimes what I do, because I can't be the one doing everything. I have a staff employee of mine who helps me with the data entry, and then what I do is every 2 weeks or once a month, I will log in on my end and I will go through all these transactions to make sure that they are correctly entered. And if they are, then I will actually click on it, and then it will become marked as review. So it has been reviewed. So that means, I have looked at this transaction and that is fine. Okay, and so you can actually review, and of course you can also select all, and then you can edit and you can mark all as review, or you can make certain changes as well. Okay, so this is another third reason is you can come here to make adjustment if you have entered in a previous transaction wrongly. Okay, so if you click on it, you realize that you and then you will be able to see transaction details. Okay, so you can see here, you can change the description, you can change the account date, whether is it a deposit or withdrawal. Okay, and then you can change the category. You can even do the withdrawal as a split withdrawal. What do I mean by that? It could be like, for example, you made a bill payment for $1,000, but it's actually for two separate items, $500 for item for reason A and $500 for reason B. So you can actually then subsequently use this option, split the $500, or in this case 214, into the two separate categories so that they are classified correctly and accordingly. Okay, so same thing for invoice payment also. Sometimes you receive a lump sum payment for 3 invoices. Some people will pay in a lump sum, but you want them to be categorized accordingly. So you can actually split the payment. Okay, you can split this deposit into the respective invoice if they are payment for more than one invoices. So there is this option. You can also enter in your notes so that you can remind yourself what went on previously. Okay, so just very quickly to show you, okay, so from here you can see all accounts. Of course it's negative because I have not maintained this as a proper account. It's just for demonstration purposes. So you can actually separate them. In this case, I have currently 2 accounts, cash and UOB. You can have multiples. You can add new accounts. Okay, so you can actually filter transactions by account so that you can, I guess you can do a deeper dive down and see what's going on. Okay, very quickly, let me just say that, let's say we use the previous example. Let's say I got a loan from John. Okay, so let's say John is someone who decides to extend a credit to my business and I owe him. So you will have to add an income because money is coming in. So you can write in a description. Let's just say loan from John. Okay, so and where does the money goes to? The money goes to my bank account. So you need to choose the bank account, and let's just say the date is today, 1st of November. It is a deposit because the money is coming into the bank account and it's for 20,000. Okay, 20,000. And where does this category goes to? Then you have to choose. This is a loan, so you have to go in. Okay, actually you can do a quick search from here. Okay, if not, then you can see here, you can do like maybe sometimes people ask for a credit refund. You can actually do a refund from here also. Refund for invoice, refund from expenses. Then these are the income account, asset account. So you borrow money from somebody, so it should be a liability. So in this case, it's a shareholder loan. Let's just say it's a shareholder loan. Okay, shareholder. I'll choose this. Okay, so let's just say John is a shareholder. Okay, John shareholder. So you'll put it under shareholder loan. So what happens is it will automatically do a double entry. Okay, so once I say, once I enter OK, 1 second. Okay, once I enter save, all right, then it will do a double entry. It will debit my bank account to increase it by 20,000. At the same time, on my balance sheet, I will have an additional liability of 20,000 in the form of loan from shareholder John. Okay, so let's just save it. Okay, so you can see here, now my bank account increases by 20,000 and my liability increases by 20,000 automatically also, because the system will do a double entry on your behalf. So this is where one of the instances where it can be useful, because this is a loan, it is not an invoice, so you can't issue invoice for this. So that's where you need to come into the transaction step and do these entries yourself. Okay, you can, if you have made a mistake here under the categorization, you can also do from here. You can do you can click here, and then you can actually change it very quickly. Okay, so you can see here, you can change the category if there's a mistake. Okay, other than that, don't have to. You can then just mark as review to show that, you know, review. So it show that, okay, you have recognized this transaction. There's nothing wrong with it. You have reviewed them. Okay, or you can select them all, edit, mark all transactions very quickly. Okay, then they will do that. Okay, so alternatively, let's just say on the same day you decide to repay back. Okay, so in this case, let me just quickly show you. So you can, if you go to reports, right, and you generate your balance sheet. Okay, you realize that there's a let me just close this up. You guys realize that you can see that there's a liability here. Okay, total, can go into details. Okay, so you can see here, shareholder loan increased by 20,000. That was because I entered. Okay, let me just do the opposite. Let me just go back to accounting transactions. Let's just say you have the money now. You want to pay back. Maybe you just pay back 10,000. Example. Okay, so once it's money out from your business, you will go to the add expense category. Add expense. Okay, then you can do a description. Repay loan to John. Okay, let's say you repay. Okay, and you repay from your bank account. Okay, UOB bank account. Okay, the date is today, so this is a withdrawal, and you only repay partial. Let's say just repay back $10,000 instead of $20,000. Okay, so you can actually add vendor. You can see here you can add vendor. If you have pre-entered a vendor, but if you don't have, then that's fine. Why do you want to add vendor? Is because some transactions are constant dealing with the same person. So you once you have a vendor, then next time you can actually filter by a particular vendor. You can see all the transactions that you have engaged with the particular person. Just a bit same like how we have used the customer statements that I've shown you in my previous video. Okay, but in this case we don't have, so we remove it. So category, so you can add customer, so same thing. So that all these will go into your customer statement. If there's any sales tax, you can include also. Okay, category, remember you need to go back to the same category, shareholder loan. Okay, so what happens is, in this case, this is a withdrawal. So once I press save, what happens is my bank account will reduce by $10,000, but my shareholder liability will also reduce by $10,000. Let me show you. Let's just press save. Okay, so this is save. I've marked this as review. To double check whether I've done this correctly, go back to your reports, go to balance sheet. Okay, and detailed. Let me just close this. So you can see here, you see that my bank account has reduced, came down from $17,217.97 to $7,217.97. So basically less $10,000. And at the same time, my shareholder loan from $20,000 has now become $10,000. So this is, in a nutshell, how the accounting function works. Okay, so this can be, so basically to sum it up, right, as long as there are transactions that you cannot categorize as income, sales, or bills payment or receipts, then you will need to come here to transaction to enter them manually. So as long as you need to enter in a certain inflow outflow of your business, and then you do not know where to go, this is a default place for you to go. In fact, if you did not issue invoice but you need to recognize sales, you can also do the same thing. But it's not recommended lah. Of course, I would prefer that you do an invoice every time, so you can see, like maybe description, maybe there's no invoice, so you did a cash sales for whatever reason, or maybe you did cash sales for the whole month, and then once a month you deposit money into your bank account. It could be cash sale settlement, then you put the money inside. Okay, deposit, let's just say $15,000. Okay, categorize, so you got to put in the right category accordingly. So let's just say sales. Okay, and then you save it. Okay, so this can be also, once you see it's green color, that means it's money in, black color is money out. Very straightforward. Okay, and then let me just see what else I've missed out. Okay, it should be pretty straightforward. So let's say you did let's say because of this sale, there's a refund. Okay, you can add expense, you can say refund or something, then you can see here, you can choose from here. Okay, let's just say the money is out from here. Let's say you refund $200 because of some default faulty stuff. So you can go here, then you can see here that you can refund, send for invoice. Okay, so you can see here, okay, maybe for this particular invoice, right, instead of $500, maybe they return you $250 of stuff. So you need to reduce the invoice accordingly, or you basically a credit refund. So you can click here, okay, and then you can save it. So what happens is the invoice, instead of $500, it will be adjusted back to it will be adjusted by $250 to $200 to $300 instead. So you can save it. Okay, then if you go to sales, this is invoice number 3, right? So if I go to invoice number 3, okay, you realize that okay, so $500 payment, go back, and $700. Okay, let me just see what else. Okay, if you have multiple bank accounts, which I don't have, if you have, and it's quite common for some business to transfer money in between bank accounts, so you can also add income, and then you realize that there's this option here. Let me just show you. Okay, categorize income, then you can see here, transfer from bank. Okay, this is from bank, credit card, or loan. Okay, so this is where you internally, when you transfer money from one account to another, you can opt to this account. So you can see that from cash on hand, you transfer to UOB. Okay, this could be something like, maybe, yeah, at the end of every month, you clear your cash on hand in the business, and then you transfer it to your bank account. You can use this option as well. So basically, you can do a lot of stuff over here. Okay, last but not least, there's a journal transaction. Journal transaction is where it's actually more for, I think most of the time you may not need this. It's more for your bookkeeper who does this. Okay, this is where it really do a manual transaction where he actually will enter in the debit credit by himself. Okay, when you need this, most of the time is when you have maybe made a mistake in some of your transactions. He need to make a journal adjustment to correct the wrong entries or mistake. That's where you'll need this function. Okay, most of the time if not, then do not. And if you have entered in something that you do not need, then you can just click and delete. Okay, then you can delete that way. The transaction can be done. Alright. Okay, so I think I will end off here. That's it for now for this transaction section for Wave Accounting. If you have any further questions, please feel free to leave the questions in the comment below. I'll try my best to answer them, because it's a rather large topic by itself, and there's really a lot of me functions inside. I may not be able to cover them all in this very short video. So if you have any specific questions, just leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to reply to you as soon as I see them. With that, I will sign off here. If you have find this video useful, please consider subscribing to us and follow us. Alright, I'll sign off from here. This is Kevin once again. Take care and goodbye everybody.